All right, hey, what's going on, guys? So, what I have in for repair today is excuse me, iPhone 11 Max Pro or Pro Max, whatever. I did go ahead and I've already let me here's the board. I've tested it already, taken out the housing. Now this is one of my boards, so I'm able to play around with it and try to get it working. I don't have to worry about being cautious, even though I'm still gonna, you know, I'm still gonna be very cautious with it because I want to get this thing up and running again. It's only a rear camera issue. That's what it has. I have tried replacing the camera. After I replaced the camera, the issue still was there. It didn't go away, meaning that when I try to um, factory reset the phone to get the camera working, it wasn't working. I've done everything I can to try to get the camera working. The last thing that's left is for me to separate the board, find the chip that controls the camera, and see if I can replace it and see if it fixes the issue. I did went ahead and I ordered the camera power management chip. Also, I got the camera flash driver. So first thing is first, we're gonna open this thing up and see what's going on. Like I said, I did test components around it. Let me get you guys in on the microscope so you guys can see what's going on. I got this new board heater, and right there I knocked off a component, as you can see right here. Component's been knocked off. It's a cap. It's okay. I did go around and I checked all around some of these components to see if I could see anything that may be out of place. I didn't find anything. So because I didn't find anything, I just said, let me go ahead and just start separating the board. And once I've separated the board, then I'll see what I find as far as the driver goes. That might take it a little bit. I don't wanna poke around too much and knock off any more components. Um, but I'm really trying to, get in between here and trying to clean this up a little bit. I don't know why I didn't take this out at first. I decided to use tweezers, and the tweezers work. Not a, not like I need this perfect, but I wanted to be able to see my connections here and see what's going on with them. I didn't do so good with getting all of it cleaned up, but in a better chance now. So, because it's on this heater, and the heater, it's gonna really helping me to clean this thing up a little bit better. That way I can get inside here and I can test and see what's going on. But I really do think it's a driver. The front, I, I, I don't know if the front camera used a different driver from the rear camera. But if I disconnect the rear camera, the front camera works. If I keep the both cameras connected, then none of them work. I've never had this problem before that I had to tackle, so it's a new issue for me, but I wanted to go ahead and try it because I do have this board here. And I figured, why not? Right? All right. So what you're seeing me do right now, I'm just cleaning all of um, this water protection that Apple has inside the phone. That's what it's for. Glue is supposed to help the phone in case water gets inside of it. It kind of covers over some of these components, at least the ones that they figured is important for the functionality of the phone. And I'm just kind of going over them and just kind of pin them up. That way I can get a better reading from them. I can definitely go in here and test a little bit better. if I can find the problem. I don't see the problem. If I did, it would be a lot nicer if I could just phone and see what was wrong with it. But I can't. There is no sign of water damage. Phone looks brand new. So I'm not understanding what happened. I redid the software on it already. I updated it to iOS 14, and that did not solve the problem that I'm having here. I was just assuming that, hey, it must be the driver. I don't see any short on the board. I've tested for short. There is no short on the board, and I am going to test in between and see what else could possibly have caused this. Okay, I'm waiting till it heats up a little bit more. I will be separating the board. This is what's good about having your own, that you can test these things on. You learn a lot. So the next time I do one of these repairs, I know where to start. That's the main thing here. Once I separate this board, I'll also have a better idea of what's going on the inside of between these sandwich boards. About all of this, but I do see the board shifting. Ouch. So because I see the board shifting right here, see that that's the board. So I'm just gonna, ouch. Yep, ready to come over. Okay, there we go. We've lifted the board off, and I just went ahead and turned off the heater. Let me go ahead and check around here and see if I. So those balls look pretty good. They look pretty good. Okay, so here is my top board right here, and let me look around and see what components are on here. I don't have schematics. I was using ZXW tool for a while, and it quit working for a few months, and the company never got back to me on fixing it or anything like that. So I just kind of have given up on it. What is this? That's just some paste for. Yeah, that's just some paste that they use. Not sure what's going on here. That same gel substance, I'm not sure what it is. That's a charging IC. Okay, so maybe it's not on here. Maybe it's not on this side of the board. But either way, I'm just inspecting for if I see any signs of, hey, this could be what's wrong with it. That's really what I'm looking for. I'm looking for any sign of what could possibly have gone wrong with this phone that caused the rear camera, to stop working. Not like, the camera is damaged or anything like that, that I can say, okay, you know what, maybe this is the problem. There's no sign of that. Hot. Wow. I need to put on my gloves and stop torturing my fingers. All right. Looking around on this bottom board, trying to see what I can find. and I'm not sure where the camera chip is. So what I'm gonna do is, like I said, I did order some in. So I'm gonna find those. I'm gonna read the actual model number of this chip or whatever number is on it. Three three eight 338S005. And this is it right here. 00411. Yep, and this one is 00510. So I believe this is the chip right here that controls the actual camera. Um, I'm just gonna test around it and see if I can find the problem with it. That's really what I want to do. And I probably should clean this stuff up. I will clean it up. I hear nothing there. Oh, not there. So I don't have a short there. Right? I'm just still looking around. I'm still trying to see. I really do want to just change that chip. I don't know, maybe it's just my eagerness just to work on this board that makes me just want to change that chip. But let me just double check to make sure that it is the exact same one that I have here before I go ahead and I change it and then I don't have the component. Or take it off and then I don't have the component. So let's look at this chip here. And it doesn't actually look the same. So I am actually wrong about this chip. This is not it. So let's keep looking. There, not there. Okay, let's look back again on the actual top board. This board. Oh, not there. Where is this chip? That's what the chip looks like right there. Nope. Nope. All right, so I'm convinced that it's not on the not where I thought it would be. So far, at least. This might be it right here. That might be it right there. All right, let's clean this up and let's see if that's the chip that we're looking for. And let's see what we can find out. Not it either. I started spreading before I. All right, sorry about that, guys. All right, so back to this. I'm trying to find this chip. Not sure where the chip is at, but I'm hot on the pursuit for it. So that's not it either. That's not it. That's not it. Yeah, I was thinking it's that one, but mm, not something that you really want to get wrong. Unless Mobile Centric sent me the wrong one. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, camera power IC. Okay, now this is becoming all right, let's do some research online. Let's see if we can locate this thing using the internet here. I think I found something here. Display connector. Um, wide angle head, wide connector. Okay, so it's here, and from what I can tell, it's underneath here. Wow, it's underneath here. Okay, all right, so we found the chip, and let's see if we can test around it regardless, and let's see what we get as far as reading goes. And the thing is, whenever a chip is bad, you can't really tell. You just kind of have to change it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the board heater again, and I'm gonna put the board on the board heater, right? And then we'll try to work on this and see what we can do here as far as get this get this thing up and running if we can. Trying to figure out how I'm going to lay this board on here, and that way I can remove that metal plate that's covering over that. Okay, so I don't see a way how I can put this on this board holder that I have right here. So I'm going to put that off to the side, and I'm going to see if there's a place for my tweezer here inside of. What else do we have that we can use possibly? Can this work? Yeah, but we need a board holder. You need a board holder. Oh, here's our good old. Okay, so let's see if we can get this. I'm gonna try to get this plating off, right? Which is right here. Let me see if I can get that in focus for you guys right here, because the camera is actually underneath this, or the camera. Um, sorry, the camera power management IC, right? I mean, think. I'm trying to think, how can this chip right here go bad and cause the camera not to work? Cause it makes one camera work, not the other one. I don't have the actual. See, that would be nice right now to actually have the schematics, or maybe the board. Yeah, because I don't see what else could cause those cameras not to turn on. All right, let's just change it, and then we'll go from there. Okay, that's my thinking, is that the chip that's underneath here is bad. I'm just trying to heat up everything around here, just a little bit, not too much. I'm directing the heat over here because I feel like the components that's over here um, are components that can take a little bit more heat compared over here, where I have this chip right here, and I don't know what that chip does. Here we go. So we got that lifted off. Cell phone repair. Yeah. I don't know. Don't know what iPad. It depends on what iPad. All right, so there, I actually did go ahead and I removed that already. I don't see anything here that would make me think, hey, there's something wrong over here. But like I said, sometimes it's internal inside the chip that this problem is, and you can't see it. But regardless, I am going to test around it and see what I get. And it all seems fine. But regardless, let's go ahead and let's change it, right? I'm still going to change it because I think that's a problem. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But let's go ahead and let's change this and replace it with a different one. Get some flux on here. And there we go. We got that component up and off the board. Just got to remember that it was facing that way. So let's go ahead and let's clean our board real quick. Don't want to let it cool down too much. So I'm kind of using whatever I have to kind of keep it going. That way I don't have a lot of heating up to do as far as whenever it's time to. Okay. I just bought a new tip for this, so I'm going to go ahead and. I thought I was going to break that tip in, but it's too big. So let's get Weller out and let's get this done. Okay, that doesn't look right. Just kind of going over these a little bit like that. Tapping on them, going over them a little bit. I'm just tapping them down. I'm not really dragging my iron or this wick, tapping them down with it. That I don't want to pull any pads underneath here. So take my time and just tap them down just like that. And that looks pretty good to me. A few more that I think could be tapped down like that. Like I said before, I'm no professional at this, and that's why it's good doing it on your own board. Because then you don't have to worry about, not that I really care about the internet criticism, I don't really care about it, but regardless, if you're someone that worries about them, then here's how you get over that. Get your own board, do it. So when those people start screaming at their keyboard as they're texting you, you know that it doesn't matter because this is your board. This is you, learning. This is you testing, what you think might solve a problem in the future or a device that might come your way, right? And maybe I lost that chip with my hot air station. I might have blew it away. Nope, found it. All right, let's finish up here. Was it like that? Let's see. We have an image here, so let's see if I can zoom in on the image. Won't let me zoom in on the picture that I do want to zoom in on. Let's see if we can spot where. Yep. So that's how it goes on the board right there. Just like that. Just the way I have it. That's exactly how it goes on the board. And that's how you get it to look good. It's flux. And if I do put this chip on wrong, like don't get me wrong, it's not gonna, don't think it's gonna fry the board. Most that will happen will be it won't work. That seems right. Right, so let's turn up this air a little bit more. Then let's just blast this thing. Okay, and that's sitting proper. Okay, so we got that chip back on the board now. See if I can see anything from the side here. Let's see what we can see from the side. That looks good, right? You guys can see those balls that are all making a connection. It does look like that top one up here isn't making a good connection. That's what it looks like right here. But all the other ones look good. So for now, we're just gonna test it the way it is. We're not gonna stress too much about as far as everything not lining up, right? And what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna put some flux. Usually I like to clean up, but I'm not gonna clean up. We're just gonna flux and put back. And I think that should do it once we flux and we put it back onto the preheater again and let it sit on there for a few minutes. I think it'll come back together nice and proper. Like I said, I'm not going to worry about trying to put that metal shield back on because that by itself would take so much time and it ups the chance of more damage on this board than anything else, and I don't want to do that. All right, so we're going to leave that on the board for a few minutes and then we'll come back to it. It's funny because this um, OBS that I have on this computer, it doesn't have the pause button. The other one does. I can pause the streaming. See, this one only has start, stop streaming. Doesn't have pause. But on my other computer, I can pause the streaming. Very weird. Very, very weird. All right, let's look at this thing and let's see what's going on with it. Do we have any bubbling yet? Nope, no bubbling. Yep, no bubbling yet, which is what we usually wait for as a sign of solder is actually melting. We wait for some bubbling. And then once we get the bubbling, then we can press down on these corners and get this thing to sit on here properly. Yep, so it's heating up. And like I said, guys, I don't know if this is going to work. So it's not like this is a solution. You know, if your phone has, camera is not working or something like that, this is not a solution for that because I have not fixed this problem yet. And I've never done it before. I'm just trying to see if that would solve this problem, because if I run into the problem again, then I know almost without a doubt that that's the problem. Yep, and it's starting to bubble. There's a little space there, but I'm not really worried about the space per se. Or maybe I am worried about the space now that I look at it. Over here is closed up. You know what? We're not going to worry about it for now. And the only reason I'm not going to worry about it for now is because I still think that it's connected good enough that it should work. It's not completely closed up and flat, but I think it'll work. When I do need it to close up completely flat, I'll go back over it. But for now, I think this will work. Not all fully off, so I think it should. Let's get that housing. All right, let's get this housing back in here. Let me get you guys down where you guys can see. Here's the housing. Hit the screen. Okay, so still a little bit warm to the touch. Let's wrap it up in something to get some of this heat out of here so that way we can work a little bit faster. I haven't even cleaned the board yet or anything. I just want to test the camera or cameras to see if they're actually working. If not, then we will have to figure out what else we can do. If I can't do anything else, then I just want to make sure that it is going to power back up. Worst case scenario, right? Because as long as it powers back up, I'm fine with that. Even if the cameras are not working, it's not a complete failure. I took the phone apart and put it back together, which is another success in itself. So we move on with that in mind. That we didn't completely fail. And even if we did, it's okay. This phone belongs to the store. Here for parts if we need parts or anything like that, or for testing or all that other good stuff. That's what this phone is here for. I did also get the strobe, uh, the light for the driver for the strobe, just in case that is the problem. Which I seriously don't think so, but I said I got both of them. I can change both of them and see how well that works. Go from there. But let's try to see if we get this thing to power on. If we don't get it to power on, then we have to figure out what else is going on. So far, no good. Okay, let's plug in our charger. Let's see what we get from our charger. And there we go, it's charging. You can see that on the screen. So let's wait till it turns back on. Once it turns back on, we'll test it and see what's going on with it. So pretty much the only success that you guys have seen so far is me taking the phone apart and putting it back together. You can call changing the chip a success if it works. So let's see if it works. Then what we'll do is we'll put it back in this heater. We'll make sure that both sides gets nice and and clamp down around the edge, and then we'll go from there. But we'll see. It's charging at 1 amp, which is really good. It's at least up there we go, 2 amps. Yep. And I'm actually surprised that it needs charging. I didn't think that it would need charging because I hadn't been using it, and I feel like it's been sitting here for the last few days. So we'll see. And I don't think this is a service that I would offer to customers. Um, if I did, it'd be more in the price range of what Apple charges for like the camera. I mean, Apple charges because I took it to the store, saying, "Hey, look, here's a phone that's never been taken apart. Well, not never been taken apart, but all original Apple parts in here. Nothing has been changed out. The camera stopped working. What can you guys do?" They turned around and said to me, $400 to replace the camera, or 500 and I think 500 and something dollars for a new phone. And I was just like, no, I'm out of here. Forget it. Thanks. Have a good day. Not knocking Apple for that. Um, I think what that did was show me more or less my value in this industry. That if I'm not charging those prices at Apple, sometimes customers or consumers might assume that your job isn't as good, because I've seen plenty of people that says, "Oh, don't go to these third-party stores to get your phone fixed. Go straight to Apple," and it's where we try to keep the prices for like screen repairs and so on affordable for customers. Um, Not that Apple doesn't, but we can get those same parts, which is refurbished, meaning that an iPhone 11 screen that was cracked, someone has taken the time to invest in the machines to take the glass off, put it all back together, make it just as Apple had it before, minus the glass. If anything, just the glass is not OEM, just the glass itself. Everything else is OEM. And we sell them for, a fraction of the price of Apple, but still, consumers assume that, if we're doing it so cheap, then something has to be wrong with it. Not necessarily. We that's the whole purpose of, repair. It's like, you can buy a Toyota, you can take it back to Toyota to get it fixed, or you can take it to Vinny. Vinny's, neighborhood mechanic. He knows his stuff. He's been doing it since his dad raised him up, kind of thing. So, and still nothing from the camera, as you can see. No image from the cameras, right? So we know for sure now that it's not actually. I'm just going through here and seeing what else I can see that possibly could have affected this thing. I'm just turning off everything on the camera, trying to see if I can get it to work. And still nothing. I mean, I even, what's crazy was I don't want to rip that. I don't want to rip that. So let's. My battery's low, anyways. I'm gonna disconnect. I'm unplugging the cameras first, which is the rear cameras, and I'm going to try to use just the front camera. And well, yeah, and just to see if that works, because prior to my repair, that camera was working. So I just want to make sure that it's still working now, even though I have it disconnected. Or now that I've disconnected the rear camera, the front camera should still work, because before this it was working. And I just want to make sure. Yep, so the front camera is still working. But it just froze. That's why. Screen was like half connected. So the other thing that could be wrong with this is, I don't know. I don't know. So that's what I'm going to try for now. I am going to go back later on and go back over some things and see what else I could try to figure out what's going on with this. So that's all I have. Let me show you guys the front camera, that the front camera is working. So as you can see, the front camera is working. See that? That's front camera. Rear camera is not. Let me try to connect them while the phone is powered on. And it looked like this thing was getting really hot, because on the screen, I can see that on the screen that it's almost like there's a broken connection there. But when I tested everything, nothing seemed broken. All right, so let's see. I really wish I did have a schematic for it. I don't want to have to buy a ZXW tool, because I don't think it works out. It just ends up being a pain. Maybe I'm thinking about Paul Daniels software, to be honest with you. People have been talking about it for a while, and I'm ready to give it a try. Okay, so what I just did was I disconnected some camera. I just disconnected the cameras, and I'm gonna try again. But for now, I'll just save the rest to whenever I try to figure out a solution for this. I'll get back to you guys and let you know. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys.